He started laughing, and he's like, yeah, now.
Yeah. You know who I saw on television, and I've had a crush on her all my life.
I don't know.
Chrissy Everett. Yeah, that's why she goes, by the way. It's her Twitter account is Chrissy Everett, and I have to say, she looks fantastic. She's like 63. I don't think she's had any work. I was like, she's a player, so she's going to work out, but she looks fantastic. And she was doing student studio commentary. And
she's doing work for NBC still.
Well, no, she's at ESPN now.
Is it ESPN?
Yeah, ESPN covers the whole thing now.
All right.
They own the rights.
My bad.
Yeah, and I think, so it's and they had Serena Williams in. It was a nice little, meeting of the champions at one point. It was pretty cool. But
Chrissy Everett wouldn't want to play Serena.
No,
not even close.
Well, I don't know.
Serena's like twice the size of Chris Everett.
Well, yeah, but she beat up still on Martina on occasion.
Martina's not even close to as big as Serena. Serena. You don't understand how big she is until you get her next to somebody who you know how big they are. Serena's like 6'1",
right? And
she probably weighs about 180 or 190.
She's a larger woman.
She's
but in great
all
shape.
Muscle. All muscle. Don't get me wrong.
She's
strong as hell, and as far as she's like. Almost freakish, and I mean that is in the best way possible.
Yeah.
But Chris Everett is a fairly normal-sized woman.
Yeah.
She would get overpowered.
Well,
there's no doubt about that.
It'd be interesting. That's always the thing about, any sport, various generations against each other. What else do we have to talk about with the World Cup, brother?
Well, like I said, we got 4 European teams for the first time ever. For the first time ever in the semifinals, there was no Argentina, no Brazil, and no Germany.
Right.
We have, like I said, France plays Belgium. Belgium got the biggest upset of the tournament because they knocked off Brazil 2-1 in the semifinals. That was an own goal from Brazil and just a rocket from Kevin De Bruyne, probably from about 25 yards to the just inside the left post. That gave Belgium a 2-1 lead in the 31st minute. And as soon as that goal went in, it started. It was like, ooh, Belgium could do this.
Right.
They held on. Brazil got a goal in the 76th minute, and then Belgium was just in pretty much full-on defensive mode and held on to win the game and not let it get to overtime and or penalty kicks. Like I said before, Croatia eliminated Russia on Saturday in penalty kicks. England knocked off Sweden 2-0.
Boy, Harry Kane, right?
No, Harry Kane he really didn't do a whole lot in this game. It was actually Harry Maguire, defender, who scored off of a set piece. He scored on a header. That made it 1-0. And my boy, the much maligned Dele Alli, Tottenham guy, he scored the second goal also on a header. A lot of people have been ripping Dele Alli. He got hurt in the first game. He didn't play the next 2 games, and people are ripping him, say, oh, he's having a crap World Cup. And I'm like, he hasn't played.
Well, that means he had a bad
World Cup. Leave the guy alone. He's doing all right.
If he's not playing, he's not playing.
Well, if he's not playing, you can't say he's having a bad World Cup if he's not playing. He's hurt.
Well, it's not a good one.
Got a goal, salted that one away for England. It was a nice, easy win. That was the thing. Belgium had won that group that England was in, and they got Brazil, and everybody was like, "Whoa, Belgium should have lost that game, so they'd have the easier draw." Well, here they are. Both of them are through now to the semifinals, and they could wind up facing each other in the finals. The other fourth semifinalist, France, handled Uruguay fairly easily, which surprised me. My man Hugo Lloris, the goalie, had the clean sheet against Luis Suarez, and that was made easier by the injury to Edinson Cavani, who was the other forward for Uruguay. So Suarez didn't have his running buddy with him, and that made Uruguay's attack a lot less potent than it usually is. France is the favorite over Belgium, and England is the favorite over Croatia. I still see Belgium winning that game. I don't necessarily know why. I see Belgium and England in the final. And it's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday, like I said, for the semifinals.
Right.
The third place game is on Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning here, and the final will be on Sunday, also 11 o'clock local time. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to this. The other thing that you have to remember is, besides the World Cup and all the pomp and circumstance and the biggest sporting event in the world, it also means that once this is over, it's less than a month until Premier League season starts.
Wow. Well,
and I mean, these guys haven't really rested. A lot. These guys, these are some of the top players in the Premier League who are still involved in the tournament. These guys are going to have like 2 weeks to rest in between. I mean, can you imagine a baseball player playing an entire season, then going to the World Baseball Classic, playing in that for a month and a half, and then it's coming back and say, "Oh yeah, you got 2 weeks to rest before spring training."
Yeah, I can see that.
No, it would never happen.
Well, soccer's even worse because it's all running. It's all running.
It would never happen. So yeah, you'll be seeing pictures of my man Harry Kane probably on a beach somewhere as soon as the World Cup is over, and just kind of hanging out and chilling and getting his vacation on. And
as well as should.
He'll probably miss the first week or so of training. Hopefully he'll be coming over to the States with Tottenham because they're coming over. They're going to Minneapolis, L.A., and San Diego for 3 games. But don't expect him to play in those games. For all of these World Cup guys, preparation for the season is really going to involve resting.
And this is why the Rob Leonard rule should go into effect.
Oh, here we go.
The Rob Leonard rule means unlimited substitution for players so they can rest instead of having to run around for 90 minutes. In all soccer leagues, not just MLS or World Cup or La Liga or Premier, as I like
Premier. To call it. I don't know why you always mispronounce it. I don't understand why you willingly mispronounce it.
I always hear Premier.
Well, anyway. I don't know why you
Anyway,
hear that,
but they should allow unlimited substitution because...
Well, maybe they will at some point. I don't know. But for now, it's 3 substitutions. You get a 4th in overtime. So
okay.
There you go.
We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to From the Press Box right here on 90.3 WHPC, 516-572-7440 to give us a call.
All hit music.
For all those songs radio has forgotten about, join me, Big Ed, Mondays from 10 a.m. till noon for The Good Gold Show. We'll bring back all the great hits of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and more. The sounds of doo-wop to disco, all the Motown, soul, and great rock and roll. We'll even take your requests and dedications to The Good Gold Show.
Music.
On the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
See, this is hi-fi, okay? High fidelity. You know what that means? That means this is the highest quality fidelity. Hi-fi. Those are 2 very important things to have in the stereo system.
Join me, Kim Tracy, on High Fidelity for a mix of music with a focus on newer music and lesser-known artists every Thursday at 2 p.m. on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC and streaming with the iHeartRadio and TuneIn apps.
Hey, I just got a ticket from one of those red light cameras.
Good news. My show, Law You Should Know, can help you fight that.
My brother just got arrested for shoplifting.
My show has info about that, too.
My mom told me she's worried about whether she needs a will.
Law You Should Know can help her with that.
My cousin was hurt in a car accident. Can he sue?
Law You Should Know can help with that, too.
My uncle has some legal questions, but he doesn't think he can afford a lawyer.
Tell him to be sure to listen to Law You Should Know every Wednesday at 3 p.m. or Sunday at 7 a.m. for lots of free info about the law right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box, 516-572-7440. I'm Rob Leonard. He's award-winning sports writer Tim Leonard. Remember, this show becomes a podcast, as with all our shows, right after the show ends. So if you want to go to Spreaker.com or iTunes, and it's all over the place, actually. There's like 5 or 6 places now. It's just there.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere, so to speak. Anyway, brother, let's quickly... talk about LeBron James, I think. Just very quickly. He went to the Lakers very quickly.
Mistake.
Why do you say that's a mistake?
Plain and simple mistake.
Just because LeVar Ball is around?
It's not even so much that, because the Lakers also signed Rajon Rondo. And if you're thinking about point guards and what's going on, then I don't know who's handling the point.
Yeah.
I don't think LeBron is going to want Lonzo Ball handling the point if Rajon Rondo is there. I would not be surprised if Lonzo Ball gets traded.
I see him coming to the Knicks.
No. That's not happening. The Knicks have plenty of point guards, plenty of bad point guards without having to trade for somebody and his father. But
the father can't cross the Mississippi.
I wish that was the law. If that was the case, then I might take Lonzo. But right now, first of all, the Lakers are now in a position where they would have drafted 2 point guards in the last 3 years. And if Lonzo gets traded, they would have traded both of them. Right. D'Angelo Russell is now playing for the Nets, and the Nets got him. You know, when the Nets made that trade, I thought it was a good trade, but Kyle Kuzma, who they gave to the Lakers in that trade, plus a couple of draft picks, has turned into a really nice player. And he was picked at the end of the first round. So it wasn't as lopsided a trade as it may have looked at first. But if D'Angelo Russell can continue to progress like he did last year, then it's still a good trade for the Nets. And the Nets are still in the mode that they're not necessarily tanking this season, but they're going to have 2 max slots available for next year's free agent class. And that's a huge thing. And it's huge in one aspect and not in another. First of all, the Nets don't have a championship team to attract players.
This is why Carmelo Anthony, who should be leaving Oklahoma City very soon,
he's not coming to the Nets.
Why not? I think he wants to come back to New York.
Because it doesn't matter what he wants; it matters what the team wants.
Well, if
the only way he comes back is if the Nets could sign him for a peanuts, for 5 cents on the dollar, and even then, I don't think they would. The Nets are perfectly happy to tank this season to get themselves a great draft pick in next year's draft, which is supposed to be loaded. If they can get a top 5 pick in that draft, plus talk 2 players into signing with them at max salaries, the Nets' turnaround could be very swift and very quick. So it's a matter, though, of convincing 2 marquee players, and I don't even know who's going to be a free agent next year. Obviously, LeBron James will not be among them. But it's a matter of finding 2 players who probably will have some sort of relationship already, but to convince them to say, hey, we have D'Angelo Russell,
right,
who is an emerging young talent, and we have I don't even know who the Nets would sell them on, but to say if you 2 both come in, now we're a contender in the East, and especially because really the only team that you need to beat in the East now is Boston, because Cleveland is no longer a factor now that LeBron has left.
Right.
So you need to beat one team to get to the NBA Finals. Whereas out west, and this is why I think LeBron signing with the Lakers was a mistake, they don't have enough to compete.
So you think LeBron should have signed with, like, the Celtics or something?
I think the Celtics would have been the better move, but you put it this way. LeBron, to get to the finals now, is going to have to go through at least 2 wars.
Right. Because
you have the Rockets, who aren't going anywhere, and you have the Warriors, who only got better. They signed Boogie Cousins for the $5.3 million veterans exceptions, which, granted, Cousins isn't going to play until probably January because he's still recovering from an Achilles rupture.
Ouch.
So from that standpoint, he's not going to be an impact guy, but when he's ready to play and he can go, talk about a guy who, you bring him in off the bench, I don't even know what they're going to do with him. Or you start him at center. You could start him at center.
Right.
Put, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
He'll come to you.
The forward. But the loudmouth forward, whose name is escaping me. But you have him at, say, power forward, and then you play a small lineup. That gives them inside presence that they don't normally have. It just makes them better. And the fact that he signed a $5 million contract to come to the Warriors, it shows me that Boogie wants a ring, and good for him, but it also gives him a nice soft landing spot where he's not going to have to come back and carry a team as soon as he gets back from Achilles surgery and rehab. So